funny how the most interesting thing about the episodes when we drop them. The comments. That's what I look for. That's what I look forward to.
They don't. You get which one we talk about Haaland? I've been able. One guy won't drag me. I look at this year. He said this Haaland. No, be we find where they analyze say Haaland might struggle a bit. I look up.
There's a guy. There's a guy that Haaland has destroyed the guy's podcast career. Why guy in the UK. The guy said, Haaland, come on, you have Harry Kane, you have disrespect to those players. Haaland will never be top scorer. Haaland not bang everywhere. but what I think we're going to wrap up because we have 20 minutes to wrap up. And remind me if I've missed out anything that is worthy of talking about, right? But speaking of defending, it's something I told you about.
Yeah.
And I feel like there is a real trouble in the game. I don't enjoy the game as much as to be fair, I don't enjoy watching football games as much as I used to, right? I enjoy supporting my team. I enjoy the banter. But in terms of actually seeing people be so good at something, a lot of people, it's not there anymore. Which is why Van Dijk has gotten the praise he's gotten. Because the football community.
How many could we mention when at his best?
At his best.
At Van Dijk's best, how many were there for us to mention?
I hate to bring Haaland into it, right? I hate to bring him into it. I think I said it's generational talent. I hate to bring him into it. But I dare say that the numbers Haaland is doing is possible because of a lack of, proper defenders.
There's a bit of that. There's a bit of that.
I have to be very fair, right?
There's a bit of that.
I think that he'll score the goals he'll score against anybody. But, for example, he scored what, 15 goals already? 15, right? I think he scored half of that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Because
right?
Yeah.
Do I think that do I think that Haaland is supremely better than Robin van Persie as a goal scorer? On the long run, because he started early and scored goals, I think the numbers back him now because he scored a lot of goals, 25 in Champions League thereabout. But as a goal scorer, I don't think he's supremely better than Robin van Persie. Yeah, physically, he has an advantage.
Yeah, people are going to come after you for it, but it's a real thing.
No,
as a football player, as a goal scorer, is he supremely better?
No.
I don't think he's what?
No, I don't.
It's not an argument.
I'm not talking for you. Listening slow.
What?
What's the apple, Gogo? Wait.
No.
Why you press this violence button? No.
You have to bring it up, right? When I speak about forwards or players, I have to make relative comparisons so we can have the context, right? When you look at the great goal scorers of the last 10, 15 years, you mention, help me out here, you mention, I think
Radamel
Falcao. I think in a 2 years,
Aguero, Cavani,
in a 2 years, in a 2 year spell, right? Ferran Torres was one of the best goal scorers I saw.
Yeah.
And in that period, you could as well mention 15 centre backs.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is where I want to go to.
That we're doing
which
great.
Validates what Yubi said earlier. 20 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, I don't think Haaland scores these numbers.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, when you talk world-class centre-backs, you can't count...
In the Premier League, I can't count two.
You can't
like this.
You can't count 6, 7 in world football. Because when we talk about Ronaldo de Lima at the time, playing in the Serie A, when you go to Italian teams, Roma, Fiorentina, Juventus, AC Milan, they had one centre-back who was at the peak of the powers. So defending has gone out of the game. And I sit down and I say, I saw what Tomiyasu did with Salah on Sunday, and I thought, great defending. The guys, he sat through with Salah all through the game. And Tomiyasu is a guy who likes to go forward. But he just said, I want to defend today. Sat with him and did. I don't see defenders who go into games defending like they have personal issues with strikers.
Yeah.
That's what Franco...
I don't see it.
That's what Franco Baresi is.
Why did you want Bissaka is out of the team and wants to be sold?
When Rashford scored on his debut against Arsenal, 2 goals on his debut, Martin Keown, was I think it was on Talk Sports or one of these stations. He said, I'll break his leg. That boy won't get a shot on target. Now, defenders used to think like that.
Yeah.
That mindset of, you're not going to beat me.
No.
You are not going to beat me.
And if you do,
I hear you.
Finish you.
I handshake, you're a good player.
I hear you're really good, but you're not going to beat me. So the consciousness of defending has gone out of the game. So defenders are now more interested in how
ball playing
they look as defenders, as opposed to understanding the basics of proper defending. And I'm not going to be a slack. I'm not going to slack. I'm not going to allow you pass. I'm going to gum with you. I'm going to stay with you. I'm going to make sure that if it's a 50-50, if you beat me in a 50-50,
because
I would have given 120%.
Explain to me why Varane, who quote unquote is one of the best defenders of the last 10 years, allows Haaland
to go behind
to
him.
See his number.
Jesus Christ.
When a striker sees your number when the ball is being floated in, and the striker can see you, it means he can control where you are.
Of course.
Because all it takes is put an arm to control your body movement. When Kevin De Bruyne, and we just spoke here in the same breath about how players microanalyze other teams' moves. When you see Kevin De Bruyne out in that position, you know he's not going to dart a 40-yard run. He's going to do one thing. He's going to whip a wicked ball. So your point is, where is that kid, Haaland? Whatever you want to do with the ball, I want to do it too. So let's stand together.
Yeah.
So I totally agree, because every week you see games, you see crazy defending everywhere. Stupid, useless defending. Useless. See that one now, Garcia yesterday. The ball was floated. You're looking at the striker. You're not looking at the ball. Who taught you how to defend?
La Masia.
You're looking at the striker. The ball day. And you know what is now crazy? You knew that this guy, okay, you are looking at the guy, but you were not in a position to say, okay, I'm looking at the guy. Once he brings down the ball, I'm in a position to close it.
Yeah, that's where I wanted to go.
You brought down the ball, and the guy still had time to hit the shot.
So why were you looking at him?
So why were you looking at him?
Because I
want to take picture.
I wanted to say, I have no problem with. I think that if you're not the best at judging the flight of the ball, right?
Don't be too tight.
Right? Don't be too tight. But also, if you're in the area, you need to be tight. In the area,
you don't want him to get the ball away.
When the ball is being floated,
because if you are too tight, very skillful players can roll you.
Outside the box.
Let me tell you, if you are in the box, if you are in the box, it depends. If the guy is taking the ball with his back to you, right? There's no hole inside your body. He's going to either turn left or right. That's why you need to be tight. If you're in the box,
your body is tight.
Because you know that you're not going to kick him. You're in the box, don't kick him. Just stay close. He's going to turn left or right or pass the ball back.
But outside the box,
don't do it with Gabriel Jesus.
I should be able to limit the position you can actually turn to.
There's a skill. You know, I was going to say that.
Right.
You know, I was going to say that. Is there also a possibility? Because there's a skill that defenders used to have. The skill is out of the, tackling. It is a case of pure defenders enjoy being the bad people in the game. So they don't mind if you dribble them 1 million times.
Yeah, I'm not
They
going
know
anywhere.
that is a very important skill.
I'm not going anywhere.
there are not many fullbacks now that could attack as well as Rafael da Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the guy, that if you let this guy,
that could defend.
The boy was a madness.
You know that boy could
he
defend.
took a couple of red cards at first. And then when he now balanced into the game, the boy was a menace.
I remember a game against Bayern.
Ribery.
I remember a game against Bayern where he told Ribery, son,
don't worry.
We'll do this thing. And I love when defenders, it excites me.
And we're speaking about Rafael da Silva.
We're not speaking
who
is not the very best.
We're not speaking about Cafu.
I sit down today and I get really pissed. How, a few years ago, we were talking about Declan Rice. All that noise has gone down now. Declan Rice is a brilliant midfielder. I love him. Exciting lad.
I think he's good too.
Read the game really well. And then the pressure starts. He's got to start adding goals to his game.
What the hell?
He needs to start adding goals to his game. And that's what
DM.
defenders are falling into. Defenders are falling into that. I've got to do something extra. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's been in the eye of the storm. I don't think that kid is a defender. I think he's a midfield player.
Yeah, I think so. I told Wally.
I don't think he's a defender.
I'm moving to the right of a midfield three.
Right,
He's a midfielder.
Be whipping it from there.
Because at that point, you need to coach him on positional sense, and he doesn't have it.
Let me tell you something.
But when we see defenders like, I used to like Sagna a lot, Bakary Sagna. I hated him going forward. I love Sagna, the defender.
Yeah.
Because you won't beat him.
Hardly.
You won't beat him.
I like the boy better, but yeah.
Eboe was good
better going forward,
but he wasn't a good defender.
Right.
Sagna was a guy who
Eboe was good going forward, though.
Eboe was brilliant.
Was going forward, though.
Excellent. Very good.
We used to call him Eboedinho. You know, Eboe could dribble, step up pass, you know, drop crosses. But Sagna couldn't do that. But I would keep a defender over and over and over again over an attacking
fullback.
There's
there's something key. And sometimes I look at these new managers in the box of I have to protect my players or I have to defend my players. It's true, but
Jägen.
But I want to believe. But I want to believe that top managers should be the first to know this thing. There is something inside a person that you cannot coach. The person can come and get better with training, but there is something inside. That is where it begins. And it was one of the points that I made about even sprinters. You are fast first. You can get better by training.
Yeah, of course.
A bodybuilder, there's something about you that your body is different from the other person.
No matter how much you train Xhaka, he cannot run.
You understand?
He cannot run.
A defender, he can get better with all your training and everything. But there's something mental, innate about the player first. A creative midfielder, there's something that you just see the guy, you know that why is it that this guy in tight spaces? If it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If it was easy to coach into everybody, then anybody can do it. Anybody can do what Modric is doing.
Which is one of the credits I don't want to give Ten Hag any credit too early, but I saw him make a comment about Anthony recently. That's a player he signed for £80 million. And he said, criticize him already. He said, look, we have to build him up, but he has to show.
Yeah.
He has to make his runs in behind has to be better. He has to use his pace more.
Yeah.
We are going to try and bring him up, but he has to.
You have to
put in the work.
Yes, now.
Which is why I think that now I'm thinking about it now. I think that players like Rudiger,
I wanted to mention Rudiger.
Players like Rudiger should be given more credit than
Rudiger now feels like a odd player out. Like we don't need this type of players in the game. Like
Rudiger,
this is a disco. That's what it now looks like.
Rudiger is one of the best defenders of the last 5 years.
You see when they drop a ball and
do you know what?
Is chasing a defender and he's doing like this.
I go kill you.
Do you know that?
Dying.
Do you know that I take?
I've seen the Champions League final against De Bruyne. When he jammed De Bruyne, he knows a person jammer.
Now.
Come on, De Bruyne for the game.
I take Rudiger above Van Dijk.
Of course,
I do.
Of course,
I do.
Of course,
I do.
I don't know any other player in the game now. Now let's just take a moment to scan through. In the Premier League, certainly nobody. The only other player like that is Koulibaly. Koulibaly has that nasty edge about him, right?
And that's how defenders should be.
I remember
I was talking to Wale when I came. Wale was saying that Gabriel, the Arsenal defender, is a shit defender. I don't think he's a shit defender.
He makes a couple mistakes, but he's not that.
I like the nastiness about him.
He's like Sylvester.
Please don't insult Gabriel.
No, he's like Sylvester.
Don't insult. Don't insult.
That was good. Sylvester when they do 1-2 with Messi.
We call her Sylvester. We call her Sylvester that year. Please.
Which I wanted to say.
Ruben
is solid. But you see,
unfortunately,
the team
he's playing in doesn't
want
that style of play.
Exactly. So he's not even had that. He had that season where everybody knew this guy had an impact in defense.
Yeah.
But I think it's just one season.
I want defenders to go. I'm not asking for too much. I want defenders to go into games and say, in the 50-50s or in the 1v1 challenges,
I will break your leg.
If they are 20, I'm not going to lose 2. If you beat me once, it would be because you were
Branislav Ivanovic.
But
Ivanovic used to do something.
Oh my God!
Branislav Ivanovic. Ivanovic used to do. Oh my God!
Ivanovic.
Because I heard a stat about Lampard that Lampard used to go into games with the every coach who has coached him, he used to go into games with the mindset, I must have at least 5 to 6 shots on target. At least. Minimum requirement. That's why Lampard used to get the ball away all the time. So is the target. So why don't defenders have targets for themselves and say, I'm going into this game, I'm not losing anything.
On the flip
I see Rudiger do that. Because every time Rudiger goes into a 1v1 with someone, you get the sense that
that's why
he's going to break your leg.
But you know that's the mentality that Haaland has.
Exactly. That's why he can be like that.
Haaland has that mentality.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you.
He's building.
I will walk. I will run you over.
He's building
So
a
why
reputation for
shouldn't
himself.
defenders
I
have
saw
that?
Haaland in the commentary against Robertson. I'm sure Robertson doesn't want to play the game on Sunday. So they gave the ball over the top. And so Haaland looks over his shoulder. So he chested the ball down, looked over his shoulder. Robinson is galloping. Just put his shoulder. Robinson bounced up on the floor.
Yes, sir.
The guy is... Defenders must be scared of me.
Of course.
The way he walks, when he wins a corner, the way he walks away.
What he has done,
So my question
is build an aura about him.
Exactly. So my question is, why should a defender go into a game against Haaland now
and
not think about I will
Killing
kill
him.
you? Why? Because you know what's going to happen.
Where's Tony Adams?
You know what's going to happen.
Play Henry.
You know what's going to happen. As big as Haaland is, when you see those crazy defenders way back, I mentioned Ivanovic, and that's what Rudiger too is going to do.
This is not referring to
You understand? This is not Ivanovic.
This is Ivanovic.
You see, this is what Ivanovic and someone like Rudiger will do. You are big, but you see your knee and your ankle, they will chop it off. And before referee will see it, it is now that you have VAR. That time, Ivanovic will come. They want to pass to you. You are opening for pass. Ivanovic will come, stand on your ankle. You just do small, your ankle small. Stand on it small. Leave. Stand on the ankle small. Small is telling you, Oga, if you come here.
Today is not that day to score.
There's nothing here other than bullets.
That's classic John Terry and Ricardo Carvalho.
Carvalho.
I remember Barcelona, Chelsea,
in
the Champions League.
That time they used to say that Carvalho doesn't have a father, he doesn't have a mother.
He doesn't
have brothers, he doesn't have sisters. So he's not caring whether you will.
Was it not that time that Messi? Was it not that time that Messi just started doing all this thing? They gave him 3 months.
Then John Messi, Carvalho,
Gave him
John
3
Terry
months.
did like this. They bring you out of that.
Nice one. You remember a guy called Ufalusi?
Ufalusi, the Czech Republic defender.
What's
Ufalusi?
If
Ufalusi used to tie one thing on his head. Ufalusi used to look like a cultist. If you see his face, he looked like a cultist. He would tie one thing on his head like this.
When
his
he's
face
done
was
you.
very rough. If he's smiling, he looks like he's angry.
I mentioned that thing that time now. When I think I mentioned it here on the show, where there's a clip of Makaleli now, where Chelsea were playing. Was it Barcelona or something? Where Makaleli told this guy, I think Ronaldinho, I can't remember who. I mentioned it here. Makaleli told the guy, he said, play your game is not a problem, we'll do. But if you try to do, you see all those showbiz that used to do.
That's why I told you
Say,
to do.
if you try it to,
No,
Makaleli said it. There's an interview of him. So he told the guy, said, play your game, it's all good, do whatever you want to do, it's fine. But you see those showboats that if you try all those nonsense, say I will send you to the hospital.
Before you reach defender, Vieira go down for you. Before you reach defender, defender go just finish the job.
You're not encouraging someone to take somebody
come
out.
and take you out.
But
at the end of the day, taking you out is part of the
Rooney
game.
recently said, when I want to play Chelsea, every time we play Chelsea, we do better than us. I had to play way longer stunts.
Do you understand?
He retired. I had to wait longer stuff because
I think there was an investigation.
This John Terry.
That.
There's a clip of Terry.
This John Terry.
Find it. There's a clip of Terry where Terry came out for a tackle on this guy at United. Alan. Was that Alan Smith? That guy with the
Alan Smith.
This thing. Terry came out for a tackle. It's like when you see someone is receiving a pass. Terry saw him from his back line and came out to meet him in the midfield. This, oh my God!
Or look at Martin Skrtel with tattoo and the face.
Skrtel too had his.
It looks like a terrorist.
Already, right? What you've managed to establish is that I can't find.
Do you know?
If you
be
there
was a guy at United at the time. He got to a point he wasn't even playing regularly. But when he played, West Brown was a bastard.
West Brown.
So you think
West Brown? See, West Brown.
West Brown was the guy who in the military.
You just knew that the guy.
We don't use him very often.
But when we bring him out,
when
we bring him out, you know that.
When Alex wanted to win some games, he would say,
"Put West Brown."
He said, "Don't worry, Park. You will not play this one.
He
can play across the entire back line.
I need you to play." West Brown was that guy.
So I don't know. You look around now, you can't
There's a
find.
tackle in Britain they call full-blooded. Gerrard used to do that tackle. So they go with the right foot and then the left foot.
Yeah,
They
Mascherano. He was the one. Now Mascherano, I even learned him from. Now
West Brown was the guy who at right foot, at right back. You know, there was a time they said that Ronaldo used to struggle in training with West Brown because West Brown used to train like they were playing match. So he was tackling too hard.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo used to be very frustrated with West Brown. Defenders are not like that anymore.
You can't find
Fullbacks,
anybody.
fullbacks are looking cuter.
There's nobody like that at Arsenal.
Nobody.
There's no that's why I love this kid Martinez, right? And even he's like a small throwback.
Yeah.
You know, he's a small throwback. You get, you know.
I beg.
Now fine boy.
Konate wey dey do like Brambo.
When they use
Is Konate as good as Daniel Aga?
Please take
Hope it's
that
not
back.
Titus
Take that.
Brambo.
Take that back. Yes, Brambo.
No.
Brambo was shambles.
Konate.
Brambo by name.
Is
Brambo
not as
by
rough
quality.
as Aga. Daniel Aga at Liverpool.
Come on, how you go mention?
I go mention
Konate?
Sure this
Come
man.
on,
Sure this man.
But defenders used to play.
There was a guy in my secondary school, right? He said when the Liverpool interviewed the defenders, he said, "Can you play rough?"
Eh. But it's true.
He said, "Can you play rough?"
It's a player of.
Because explain to me how else.
You know that
you
the
signed
best strikers.
Aurelio, you signed Risi. In the same era, you signed Daniel Aga, signed Sketel.
You know the best strikers. Because the truth is that the best strikers.
I'm looking for something.
Some of the best strikers sabi play rough. That's the truth.
No, of course.
Some of the best. So you can't be a defender.
When you be left winger, person where they play two, he lock you. You can't run, go the other one. You can't tell the person, yeah, you come here. I won't go there. That boy, you know, play out.
I remember Nesta, and that's why. And for me,
Nesta.
it's the same thing. It's the same thing in hip hop.
Costa.
Also.
Men.
When
Massimo Odo.
when you
Zambrota.
imagine Odo, you know, when you speak about defenders now, right? There is no fear factor,
No fear factor at
even
all.
in hip hop. That's why the players now, every time we speak about who is the greatest of all time, there is a reason people always fall back to the guys back in the day. There's a clear reason. It's not nostalgia. You understand?
Show me now. Show me who's better.
You just can't show me who's better. Same thing with hip hop.
They did this
A
thing.
lot of guys now can only do it one way. Can only rap one way. You know, Quavo Honcho. Great. If that's not the cara, you know, I remember back in the day. I mean, Biggie would do this
you
style.
can't mess with Biggie's
Biggie would do
flow
that
now.
style. You know,
You can't mess- Biggie was a
ultimately.
no.
Same thing with Kobe. Rest his soul. People speak about say who's the greatest basketball player of all time, and you have 4 people in an era competing for who is the greatest player of all time. You say, oh, it's Kobe, it's Michael Jordan, it's Magic Johnson.
You know what?
Because these guys were.
Why
Why that happens is because what this guy can do, you can find in this guy 80%.
You know what Shaq said? Shaq said something about Kobe. Was it Shaq? Yeah, he said Kobe, after training or before training, he used to see Kobe do 1 full hour dribble without the ball. He's training, doesn't have the ball, dribbling without the ball. Just,
going and coming out.
Just without the ball.
So how is it possible that Ferdinand, for all his brilliance, his ball playing ability only got spoke about when he retired, and when we were speaking about Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this thing we saw Ferdinand used to do it now. You get, but that's not what we knew Ferdinand for. When we watched the game,
that wasn't.
that's not what we were finding.
We
Ferdinand
knew
for.
him as a defender.
Rough person.
John Terry, left foot, right foot.
Right foot. What are you talking about?
Was as good as anything you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Man, the way John Terry used to ping passes, he used to amaze me.
Henri said, I used to play with Terry, good defender, hard guy. And then a few years later, this guy's pinging balls with his left foot, 60 yards, 70. Now you look at defenders now, but for all John Terry did with the ball, and he wasn't a slouch.
We didn't care.
He could play.
Nobody talked
But nobody
about
cared.
how good he was on
That's the
ball.
highest goal scoring defender in the Premier League.
Funnily,
Nobody
the
cared.
defenders at the time, the Nestas, the Costa Cortas, Fabio Cannavaro's, Franco Baresi.
Wasn't that if you passed to them, they were shaking now?
They called Franz Beckenbauer the Kaiser. Go and check what it means. These were guys who were masters in terms of playing the ball. Kaiser would take the ball and run out of
playing defender.
Nobody talks about Kaiser for his ability to take the ball and stride out of defense. Now, but currently,
there's a boss saying play center
ball,
back.
Which is why anybody
they destroyed John Stones.
Anybody who knows Saliba, tell him to focus
on his defending.
You see, they built Trent up and they've let him. They built him up.
They've let him
and
down.
all of a sudden, it was always going to happen.
Of course,
when we say
always.
this, it sounds like.
Marquez was a brilliant ball-playing centre back.
No, what I want to say, and I think we have to wrap up because we've spent a lot of time.
Yeah, Marquez was a ball player.
With Terry's ability on the ball, do you think Carlos Puyol was as good as Terry on the ball?
No.
Right? But Carlos Puyol played in Barcelona's team.
Yeah.
Right? Could Terry play in Barcelona's team?
Carlos Puyol was a German defender playing Spain.
Madman.
He was a German defender who was from Spain.
What I tell these guys who speak about defending as if you have to pass off.
You don't take away the thing they turn my belly.
Barcelona in their pump had Carlos Puyol and had
Marquez. They had Marquez.
Not even Marquez. What's the other guy's name?
Is it
the French defender?
French defender.
No, was it French defender?
Eric Abidal.
Not Eric Abidal. The other guy.
Which other one?
Other guy. Not Abidal.
Lilian Thuram.
Yeah, they had Lilian Thuram.
Right?
They had Thuram.
Yeah, way back.
In their pump had Carlos Puyol, Eric Abidal, Lilian Thuram, Marquez, and Piqué now made it more glamorous, right? But that's the quote-unquote the mecca of playing out from the back and being composed under the game, in the game. But that didn't matter in that team.
Yeah, of course.
Because you knew that to defend, to play the way they wanted to play. Because they left a lot of spaces at the back. Mm-hmm. So the only reason I'm thinking about it now is that for Puyol to play in that team with not the best ball player ability.
Yeah.
We had to win lots of one-on-ones.
Yes, now.
Yeah. Because in the end,
Puyol was a madman.
Madman.
Dribble out 1 million times. He go, look, he say, we die here.
So
now I make the Maria didn't carry out.
I think
without dribble.
I think that is that. Let's do predictions and let's wrap it up because
JT.
we have spent
JT na man, I beg.
John Terry, get team where John Terry play for. Ball playing.
You know what they did was, what happened was that they almost sold the guy. They were going to sell Terry because it was Desailly and Frank Lebon. So they needed it was a right centre back, right? But at the time, I think Desailly or Lebon that was playing left centre back got injured.
Desailly was playing left centre back.
Yeah, got injured or something. That's the guy they needed to replace.
Right-sided.
So Terry had to go and learn how to use his left so that he can play there. They already agreed money to transfer him now. He said he wasn't.
Now they have to sign left-footed centre back to play.
You get? He had to go and learn how to play with his left. In fact, him and Zola confirmed it.
That's what I like Tomiyasu.
In fact, Zola confirmed it. Zola was like, Terry will come, bring him on the dressing room, say, dribble me. Just to learn how to, because Zola was one of, if not the most skillful in the league at the time, or one of the most.
Zola.
So he said, dribble me. So I will just tackle
That
you.
Italian
Right.
All right, guys. I'm a man that needs no introduction on this show. It remains the Inside Podcast. When it comes to talking sport, when it comes to talking football all around the world, you get the best information from this particular podcast. You can always join us online, on YouTube, on IG, anywhere online. You can always join. Even on Clubhouse, we're there for you to dish you the best information when it comes to sport all around the world. Stay tuned always.
Cloud. Reach out.